Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Tab back in the video today. And today, the Houston Texans lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-21. And this loss is tough. It's tough. The Texans lose by 3, 24-21. They have a chance to tie the ball game at the end of the game. And do not get, they did definitely got the opportunity to do that with a field goal, 58-yard field goal, kicked by Matt Amendola, which was just about if not a little bit over an inch off from making it and sending it to overtime against the Jaguars. The Jaguars would have got the ball back with about 20 seconds left, but most likely the Jags would have probably taken a knee and sent it to overtime. So if that field goal kick goes in, it goes to overtime. But Amendola, I think there's going to be some questions going into this next week against the Denver Broncos at home. Obviously, the Broncos are the hottest team in the NFL. They won 5 straight. It's a very important game. 6-2, 6-5 teams. It's going to be a very important game for the AFC playoff picture. So do you want to have a kicker that is not been able to make field goal kicks from long distance? Missed a field goal against the Cardinals last week. Missed 2 against Jacksonville today. I know both long field goals from 50 and 58. But if you don't have a kicker that can make long field goals, where is that going to get you? Kaimi Fairbairn, the Texans very well missed him today. Because I'm not saying he's automatic every time, but from 50 in that situation where the Texans missed the 50-yard field goal, Kaimi Fairbairn's making that kick. I don't know about the 58-yarder. I know he can make that kick. And I'm not too upset about Matt Amendola missing that kick because he's never made a 50-yard kick in his career. And he nearly just made a near 60-yard field goal. So I'm not too upset about that field goal kick. But with Kaimi Fairbairn will still be on the IR for the Texans. Do the Texans continue to keep Matt Amendola at the kicker going into this next week against the Broncos? I think that'll be a very interesting thing to keep an eye out for the Texans this next week against the Broncos. But the Texans lose this one 24-21, and it's a tough loss for them. This is the toughest loss of the season. I mean, the Jacksonville, the other losses is nothing compared to the 2 losses to the NFC South teams, earlier in the season, and on the road, both on the road. Then the first 2 games of the season. I know one was the divisional game against the Colts, but those are the beginning games of the season, and that's C.J. Stroud's first games in the NFL. But this game would have given the Texans the lead in the AFC South. And now I think they only have like a 7% chance to win the AFC South because the Texans are 2 games back from the Jaguars for the division, and the Jags now hold the tiebreaker. So the Texans do not have a good shot to win the division anymore, which is tough for the Texans. All right, but there's still a chance to make the playoffs without winning the division. So that's good. All right, scoring summary. First quarter had 1 score, was a Brandon McManus 40-yard field goal. It's 3-0. Second quarter, you have 3 scores, 1 field goal, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence 1-yard touchdown run. It's 10-0. Tank Dell 7-yard touchdown reception from C.J. Stroud. It's 10-7. Then Brandon McManus 48-yard field goal. It's 13-7. Then C.J. Stroud with a 1-yard touchdown run. Amendola's extra point is good. It's 14-3. Then Trevor Lawrence with a 1-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Ridley. Then they do literally the same exact play. I hate that. I hated that with the Texans defense. I don't know how they didn't think they would go to the same exact play. They threw the same exact route. It was a slant going to the right. And Trevor Lawrence threw it to Ridley on the 1-yard touchdown pass. Then he threw it again on the 2-point conversion. They got both. It was 21-14. That's it for the third quarter. Then the fourth quarter, a 53-yard field goal for Brandon McManus. It's 24-14. And then C.J. Stroud threw a 17-yard touchdown pass to Nico Collins. And it's 24-21. Texans get down the field to the 40-something yard line to get Amendola in range. Stroud got sacked like twice on that drive and really hurt. Some sacks on that last drive really hurt the Texans, and they lose this one by 3. Game leaders, Trevor Lawrence, 23 for 38, 364 pass yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception throw. Throughout, C.J. Stroud, 26 for 36, 304 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Rushing yards, Travis Etienne Jr., 20 carries, 56 rushing yards. Stroud led the Texans in rushing yards with 6 carries, 47 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. Receiving yards, Calvin Ridley with 5 receptions for 89 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, while Nico Collins had 7 receptions for 104 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Let's go over some other stats in this game for the Texans. Their run game was non-existent in this game. They had a total of 12 carries besides C.J. Stroud. Devin Singletary 6, Damian Pierce with 5, Tank Dell with 1. So you have, and it was only 44 yards. Singletary with 18 on 6 carries, Pierce with 14 on 5 carries, Tank Dell with 12 yards on 1 carry. Maybe Tank Dell should become the next running back for the Texans. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Nico Collins had 104 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. Already went over him. Then the next best, you have Devin Singletary with 6 receptions for 54 receiving yards. So he had a total of 72 yards. Tank Dell with 5 receptions for 50 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Robert Woods had 2 receptions for 40 receiving yards. Xavier Hutchinson had 1 reception for 34 receiving yards. Then really quick for some of the others, you have Brevin Jordan 1 reception for 9 receiving yards. Mechie 1 for 6 yards. Pierce with 1 for 4 yards. Schultz with 1 for 2 yards. And Andrew Beck with 1 for 1 yard. No fumbles in this ball game. Christian Harris led the Texans in tackles with 12. They had 0 sacks, but had 5 tackles for loss. Christian Harris had 1. Jalen Petrie had 1. 1 for Henry Toto, 1 for Will Anderson Jr., and 1 for Kerry Hyder Jr. All right, interceptions. Derek Stingley Jr. had an interception, his 2nd of the season. Back-to-back gains with interceptions for Derek Stingley Jr. He returned it 14 yards. And the Texans lose this one 24-21. Very tough loss. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Peace out. Go Texans.